There's basically one thing holding you back from being insanely charismatic right here, right now. And in order to understand that better, let's think of superhero movies. I want you to picture this analogy where we have Batman and the Joker. These two are always fighting against one another. The Joker just wants to do evil, not caring about anything or anyone in the process. He just wants to hurt. He's the embodiment of pure evil. Batman, on the other hand, is trying to stop the Joker every single time. Batman is the force of good. But Batman has principles. He doesn't kill. These are making him weak. And he also has attachments to certain persons, like his butler, like Robin and Catwoman. These things might just be the reason why the Joker gets away with it every single time. Because Batman can't just act instantly. Batman always has to overthink it at least a bit because of these vulnerabilities. He can't just go with the flow. He can't just be extremely confident because he always has these things he has to be worrying about. Whereas the Joker doesn't care. The Joker just flows. In a similar way, your attachments to the potential outcomes, your attachments to your identity, to your self image, to your previous personality, all of these things are making you a bit of an overthinker, or maybe a huge overthinker. These things are holding you back from flowing like the Joker. That's why you run out of things to say. That's why talking to people is so tense and so weird. You feel so much pressure all the time. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But then the people you deem as being so charismatic and cool and confident, they don't have this overthinking whatsoever. They are just flowing, they are even saying stupid things sometimes. And people like these guys because they don't care. It's because they don't have these vulnerabilities, this imaginary weighted vest dragging them down every single time in every single situation. They are just being themselves. But you have expectations. You hope for certain social situations to go your way, to get validation, to get the respect of others. You hope that people will perceive you in a certain way. You hope you will be, I don't know, funny enough or cool enough. All of these things are putting so much pressure on you. And that's basically why you can't be confident right here, right now. If we were to just shift that and make you careless, then you're confident. Now I can speak with so much conviction about this because I've literally been in your shoes. Like, if you can relate to everything I said so far, I've been where you are for 20 years of my life. I think a bit over 20 years actually. And I've struggled for around 10 years to improve my confidence, to improve all these nice social traits, but I approached it from the outside, as you probably have as well, trying to improve my social skills, trying to reverse engineer confidence through a confident body language, an imposing presence and voice, all of these little details that don't really change anything to the core. And they led me nowhere. But then I discovered this. I discovered this key and the way to get to the other side where we are just careless, where we are able to flow more and not care about the other people's opinions. And this thing just opened my eyes. It was life changing, and ever since I got to this point, my social life has completely taken a U turn. Now I enjoy it. Now I don't feel the pressure anymore. And you are not far away from reaching that if you put in the work, if you have the proper guidance. Now this video is gonna make you understand this. And if you want my personal guidance with this, I have a link in the description as well. And you can book a free one-on-one call with me and I will get you through the process. I'll teach you everything you need to know and you'll make progress 10 times faster. So go ahead and check it out. You need to understand the fact that you have a messed up perception of reality. There is this very famous entrepreneur right now called Alex Hormozy, and he said something like the only way to be confident is to have an undeniable set of proof that you are who you say you are. It kind of makes sense, right? But the issue here is that you've went through life gathering evidence that proves that the world hates you. And it's not really that the world does hate you. Like every single situation, every single social situation has both negative and positive aspects about it. You've just been focusing on the negatives. If I tell you to spot a green car in the traffic, in your surroundings, you will spot green cars for a week, lots of them, but you will ignore the black cars, and there will be even more black cars. It's interesting how our brains just mess up our perception of reality all the time. And this is basically what you've done with the social feedback you've gotten all the time. You just expected yourself to be a loser, you expected yourself to not get the respect. So then you filtered every single social experience through this lens. Like you just wanted the, the feedback from the outside to satisfy your previous belief that you are not good enough, that you are a loser, that people don't respect you, that you can't have a nice social experience. Obviously, you now believe that the world hates you, that the world is so tough, that you have to feel all this pressure all the time. But with a simple switch, there is a version of you waiting in there that's ready to just flow, to be careless, and to get to the point of insane confidence, really. And then you don't need to worry about all of this reverse engineering and overthinking, overcomplicating everything. You can just be yourself, and that's good enough. Now, the practice you have to go through is to try to, first of all, be open minded, to see the reality as it is, to stop just having this limited perception of it that tries to satisfy the idea that you are a loser. So be more open-minded first of all, and hopefully this video has at least slightly managed to convince you to be so. And I have plenty of other videos where I'm trying to do just the same, so if you still feel the need for more reinforcement, you can just check them out. And then when you are ready to make a change, you have to go out there to engage in conversations with people, to engage in social situations in general, which you probably have the perfect setup to do already, whether if it's at work, at the gym, or any public event, really, it doesn't really matter. Just talk to people and observe. Just observe how your brain just filters everything and takes every bit of negative evidence that you are a loser and adds it to the tank of proof that the world hates you. You need to stop that process. You need to disengage, to be aggressive and force your brain to stop this. It's time to see the bright side as well. It's time to see the fact that people don't treat you so differently. And in order to do that, just be mindful about this. Just try to zoom out a bit, try to understand the situation properly, try to really ask yourself, like objectively ask yourself, is this really the objective truth of the world? That the people around me just reject me, treat me differently, I'm a social outcast? Is that really, really true? Or do I just want it to be the case? Or at least a certain evil part of me wants it to be the case because it's easier, there is less friction, you're already used to being like that. You know, a part of you wants you to be like this. That's definitely the case, because if you, with your entire brain and body, wanted to change, you would have already done the change. A part of you likes your current life situation, and you need to completely destroy that part of you. The way to destroy that part of you is through the process of letting go. That's how you update your self-image. That's how you let go of these malicious and evil voices you hear in your mind that just belittle you and criticize you in every single social situation. Because this is the weighted vest I talked about. These evil voices that are just telling you, yes, you're a loser. You see that person treated you like this, so they believe you're a loser. You're right to believe you're a loser. These voices want you to stay stuck. We need to destroy them. We destroy them through the process of letting go. And through this process of letting go, what we're basically doing is we are letting go of your attachments. Your attachments to the expectations. This is why the Batman versus Joker example is so valuable. Because your attachments to being perceived in a certain way are creating so much pressure and so much resistance that this it only makes everything a lot harder. What I mean by that is you kind of want other people to like you, right? Despite the fact that you are used to picking the negative evidence and stuff like that, you want the cool people to respect you and to validate you because when they do, you feel a bit better. You get a bit of a high. That attachment to an outcome creates pressure, creates resistance to the opposite of the outcome. So, what that means is that at all costs, you just want to avoid the situation where those cool people judge you, where those cool people don't respect you. So, all of a sudden, you are tense because if you are loose, if you don't care about the outcome, you might just say something inappropriate, right? But this is where the illusion occurs. You believe that you have to be so tense and have control over everything that happens. And in fact, that's only making you a lot more tense. It's ruining your energetic field. You become needy. And those people you want to please, you can't please them anymore because they reject you from the kickoff. You don't even have to open your mouth. Your energetic field, your overall behavior, your micro expressions, all of these things give away the fact that you are insecure, that there is something weird about you. So you can't win it like this. It's a completely flawed approach, and we need to approach it from a better perspective. Now, the better way of doing this is when you completely accept the worst case scenario. This makes you powerful. The friends of yours that you respect, that you look at them with admiration, putting them on a pedestal because they're so confident and charismatic and magnetic, they don't care about the outcome. And that's the only way they can get a great social outcome in the first place. That's what you need as well. You need to detach away from the outcome, break your connection with this idea that you need to have control, you need to be able to overthink and optimize every single word you're saying. The goal, the ultimate goal, is for you to flow, for you to not feel that demonic voice inside. All of this comes down to emotional management. It doesn't sound cool, it doesn't sound sexy, but you have to get into this process, doing the inner work, processing your emotions properly, because otherwise they are gonna be in control. If you just use your thinking mechanisms all the time, if you are logical, rational all the time, your emotions are gonna get the better of you because your brain cannot control your emotions. They are 5 times stronger than your brain, than your thoughts. The only way to fight your emotions is to process them, to accept them, and to heal them. And when you do that, when you take the courage to do that, and when you understand that this is literally the only way, then you become powerful, then you become loose. The way to do that is to picture your negative emotions, your worst case scenario that you're afraid of, for example, the rejection of the cool people. Picture that as a cold water, a pond of cold water. You want to run away from it. The idea of the cold water touching your skin already makes you kind of scared. You're afraid of doing that. Every single part of you is telling you to run away. You have to just turn around, go straight to the cold water, get inside that pond, and relax. You will have the tendency to still be tense because it's unpleasant. No, just relax. For how long? You have to relax for as long as it's needed. You have to relax until it feels comfortable, until you don't feel the need to be tense anymore. That is the work, that is the inner work, that is you breaking the attachment you have to that social outcome, to all of these things dragging you down. When you break the attachment to the worst case scenario, you fear nothing. When you fear nothing, you are powerful, you are confident like crazy, because you have nothing to lose anymore. You see, it makes sense, doesn't it? And despite the fact that it sounds maybe a bit woo-woo, a bit strange, a bit like it's not something very masculine or something that adults should do, you should definitely do this thing because it's insanely powerful. The people that don't go through the process like this, they never make the progress. The only way is through. If you just keep avoiding your emotions because it's not very cool, it's not very adult like or masculine, you'll never make the progress. It's as simple as that. You will always keep coping. And unfortunately, most people just keep coping for their entire lives. But then again, you are not most people. And the fact that you're still watching so far means that you have it in you to make the change. You have the potential because you are interested in this. You are at least open to hearing about these weird woo-woo practices. But this is the stuff that works. So just go ahead and iterate through this process, update your reality, combine this feeling of emotions with action, with practice, with talking to people, analyze the way you feel talking to people, process your feelings, and then you're free. It's as simple as that. And despite the fact that it's a simple looking practice, if you don't do it properly, if you just hope for your emotions to disappear, for your negative emotions to disappear especially, they will never go away. You have to accept them. When you accept them, that's when they dissipate.